I never used the term boss. I won't say never, but there was a point in my life where I was describing one of my employers, and I was like, oh, my boss said I have to do X, Y, and Z. And a relative of mine said, you ain't got no boss. Don't you ever say somebody your boss. I was like, whoa. I said, but, I work for him. He said, you don't work for him, you work with him. You a boss. You a boss. That's what he told me. He said, I'm a boss. So I said, okay, all right. And so from that point on, I always try to make it make sense in my mind. Not to see someone as you're a boss. You have managers, and their job is to make sure everything is going the way that it's supposed to go. They're managing the company or that aspect of operations within that company, but they're not your boss. The same with a supervisor. Supervisor isn't your boss. He is supervising to make sure operations go a certain type of way, and everybody plays their role within that organization, including you. And so there are those who do see people as their boss, and then there are bosses. Not to say that there is no such thing as a boss. It is. So a lot of people have bosses, but not everybody does. And I think the difference between people that are bosses and people that are not bosses is the mentality and the level of ownership that they take on in their work, right? A boss takes ownership of his role. That's the difference. Whereas a person who has a boss is just there to do a job. They're not taking no ownership, no responsibility. They usually take on the mentality of, that's not my problem. When somebody else in the company isn't doing something right, or somebody is disgruntled, they go, that's not my problem. I don't care about that. I'm just here to get my check. That person has a boss. But a boss, he cares about the company as if it's his company. And some people would say, well, why would you do that? Why would you care about someone else's business like it was yours when it's not yours? And the people that ask that question, that just tells me they not a boss. They don't understand it. They don't get it. A boss gets it. A boss understands that any and everything that they are associated with or contribute to is their responsibility. They take ownership of it. See, you're not an owner if you don't have that mentality. I am an owner. And I remind myself every day that I don't have a boss, that I am a boss. I have employers, a person that employs me. I do contract work. Doesn't make somebody my boss. It makes them my partner. I work with people. I don't even like to say I work for someone. I work with someone. And a lot of times, they themselves recognize that. Because they can see the difference between a person who's just doing work to collect a check versus a person that's a part of it, that understands their role and is not disgruntled about it. That understands that when the team wins, everybody on the team wins. You know what I'm saying? So figure out what your position is. And if it's a thing about money, if you feel like you're not getting enough money based on where you work, if you're not getting what you work, go get it. The problem is you may think you're worth more than you actually are. Go get it. If you're worth that much, go get it. Take ownership of everything in your life. Take ownership, right?